Hey everyone, Zach Perry here. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to talk to you today about one of my personal experiences and how I used the debt plan, the IGIC debt plan, to get out of my debt. So a little bit of background. My parents were of the, if he wants to go to college, he can pay for it mindset. And to be honest with you, I didn't really have aspirations to go to college. I remember in high school, and I was enjoying high school. I was doing well. It came easy. But I wasn't thinking too much about college other than the fact that I wanted to move out of the house and I wanted to, get that independence and freedom associated with living on your own. But I was aimless. In the back of my head, I wanted to be an FBI agent, but I didn't really know. In fact, I switched my major so many times: electrical engineering, computer science. I don't even know, right? I went through these phases. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Well, so I just kept taking classes and student loans. And then I went to law school. And by the time I graduated law school, I had $150,000 of student loan debt. And entering law school, I was like, no big deal, because I'll be a rich attorney. Attorneys are rich. They make a ton of money. I'll pay that off in no time. Then reality hit. When you're starting off as an attorney, unless you want to sell your soul and go to one of those big firms where you're working 80, I shouldn't say that, but I did. You work 80 hours a week, and your starting salary is $160,000 plus maybe a $30,000 bonus. That's good money, but it comes at a very real cost. Well, that wasn't the route I wanted to go. So I started working for a civil litigation firm. It was a smaller firm, which meant I get to actually do stuff, do depositions, trial work, etc. And my starting salary was not near what I thought it should have been. And I was like, that's okay, I'll work my way up. And I did, but then the recession hit. And so I got a pay cut. Anyway, long story short, I'm paying anywhere between, at the very beginning, $1,000 and then toward the end, $2,500 a month in student loan payments. And it sucked because I was just thinking, man, that's another mortgage. I could get double the house I have if I didn't have that, or I could stick more money away for retirement, etc. Right? There's a lot you can do when you're not paying money towards debt. Well, I was of the mindset, the conventional wisdom mindset, that you can only use your money once. And you want to focus on the debt first because that'll put a stranglehold on you if you don't. And then once that's paid off, you can focus on retirement and long-term stuff. But the problem with that thinking is that it's hard to pay off debt and live in a way that you're not incurring more debt, right? Because you have your expenses, and of course, I was an attorney, so I wanted to look like an attorney, so I had to have a BMW, and all these follies that my young self made. So, long story short, too late, right? It took me forever. I was 8 years into being a lawyer. I had probably paid about $130,000, $140,000 towards my $150,000 debt, and my balance was still like $115,000, $120,000. Because almost all of that went towards principal. And of course, they designed the loans that way. And so I was thinking, oh my gosh, I've been paying for 8 years and my balance has only shrunk by this much. Well, that's when I got introduced to this idea that you can pay off all of your debts, including your mortgage, in 9 years or less without spending a dollar more than you're currently spending by routing it through an IGIC. And so I was like, I'm doing this. And so when we ran the numbers for me, and that's the beauty of an IGIC. It's not like the stock market where who knows what's going to happen. We actually have a really good idea of what's going to happen because it's the same thing that's happened every year for the last 100 years, right? So the projections are pretty accurate. And so we ran my projections, and just by routing my money through the insurance contract, my plan was it would get me out of debt in 7.8 years. Now, I don't mean student loan debt. I mean debt. I mean pay off my house. My house, which still had over 28 years left on the mortgage, would be paid off in 7.8 years. So I started that plan. I want to say, I don't know how long ago it was. It was years ago. And it took me less than 2 years. In fact, I know it was less than 2 because my total student loans took just less than 10 years to pay off. 8 years to pay off like $30,000, and then 2 years to pay off $120,000. Just by rerouting the money, it's crazy. It sounds too good to be true, really, but it happened with me. And so this debt plan that we talk about isn't something that we're not doing ourselves, right? And so my student loans are, what a glorious day that was, by the way. Student loans gone, that was other than my mortgage, that was my single biggest debt. And so we live a totally different lifestyle now. My money still goes in the insurance. Instead of it going towards the student loan debt, which it still would be if I wasn't doing this, it now goes to the insurance contract, which means it goes towards me and it will grow forever, compounded for me. That's cool. So if you want more interest if you want more interest, hopefully this video has given you more interest. If you are interested and want more information on the debt program, we would be more than happy to talk to you. Call our office. We'll put a smile on your face. We guarantee it. If we don't, you're going to let me know. By the way, no one has let me know that yet. Hopefully you won't be the first. Because we take smiling very seriously around here.